All right, let's jump right in. We're here to talk about a really exciting new chapter for the American School of Doha. It's a journey, a transformation really, that's going to touch every single person in our community, our students, our teachers, and our families. We're talking about a whole new way of looking at language.
So why the big change? Well, it all comes down to this one really powerful number. Almost 90% of our students are growing up with more than one language. Just think about that. It means ASD isn't just a school with some multilingual students. We are a multilingual school. It's who we are. And that incredible reality is what's behind this whole new strategic plan.
And this right here, this is our guiding principle. It's the core belief driving everything. We are completely shifting our mindset. We're moving away from the old idea of language support as some kind of deficit that needs fixing, and instead, we're celebrating every student's home language as an incredible tool for learning and a huge part of their identity. To bring this vision to life, ASD is kicking off a 3-year journey. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through that new vision. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the roadmap that's going to get us to 2028. And finally, we'll check out some of the amazing new tools that will help support every single one of our learners along the way.
Okay, so first up, a new vision for language. We're talking about a fundamental shift, taking language support from a separate, specialized service to a school-wide asset that every single one of us owns.
This slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one hand, you have the old way, where ELL was kind of off in its own silo. A specialist would push into a class, and the focus was pretty much only on learning English. But now we're moving to this new way. We're supporting our learners as a shared responsibility across the entire school. It's collaborative, it's integrated, and, this is key, it values all languages as powerful tools for learning.
And this isn't just some abstract idea. It comes to life right inside the classroom with these new language agreements. You can see them here. They're all about creating a positive, welcoming vibe where students feel encouraged to use their home languages to think, to learn, and to help each other out. It's a shared commitment.
So we have this incredible vision, but a vision without a plan is, well, it's just a dream, right? That's where the roadmap comes in. This is our clear, step-by-step 3-year plan to get us exactly where we want to be by 2028.
So here's the game plan broken down into 3 big phases. Year 1 is all about building a rock-solid foundation, getting the policies, the handbook, and all the structures in place. Then Year 2 is about building our capacity. That means lots of professional development and rolling out all the new tools. And finally, Year 3 is all about making it stick, deep integration, where all these new practices just become a natural part of how we do things every day at ASD.
Let's zoom in a little bit on that first year, because this is where we lay the critical groundwork for everything else that's going to follow.
And you can see these aren't just vague ideas, they're super concrete actions. First off, we're creating a school-wide multilingualism handbook. We're also reviewing our admissions policies to make sure they're equitable. We're going to be piloting new support models like co-teaching. And, so important, we're setting up clear data-driven criteria for how students enter and exit the ELL program. It's all about creating clarity and consistency right from the get-go.
Okay, so once that foundation is set, we move into the next phase, building our collective capacity for systemic growth. This is all about giving every teacher the skills, the systems, and the support they need to make this vision a reality in their classroom. A huge piece of this puzzle is something called the Multi-Tiered System for English Language Acquisition. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, right? Let's just call it MTSELA. We're actually developing it with consultant Alan Crisfield. Think of it like 3 layers of support. Tier 1 is universal. It's the great teaching that happens in every classroom for all students. Tier 2 is for kids who might need a little extra, more targeted help. And Tier 3 is that really specialized support for the few who need it most. It's a whole school approach.
And to make a system like that really work, we're all going on a professional learning journey together. This isn't about just throwing people in the deep end. It includes mandatory training for all our teaching staff, intensive coaching right there in the classroom to model these new strategies, and developing our amazing EAL specialists into expert coaches who can help everyone else grow. So we've talked vision, we've talked strategy, but what does this actually look like for a student on a day-to-day basis? Let's open up the toolkit and see the practical tools that bring this whole plan to life. So, a student's journey all starts with clear identification. This flowchart you see here makes sure we have one consistent process across the entire school, from that first home language survey all the way to figuring out the right level of support. No more guesswork, just a clear, equitable path for every single learner.
Next up, we use something called the WIDA framework to really get to know each student's language profile. And what is so cool about WIDA is that it completely flips the script. Instead of focusing on what students can't do, it's all about what they can do at every stage of their journey. This allows us to build on their strengths and set really meaningful goals.
And then all of that amazing information comes together right here in the Multilingual Student Language Portfolio. And honestly, this is a total game changer. It's one single, easy-to-access document that gives every teacher the key info they need: the student's background, their WIDA scores, their specific can-do abilities, and even practical scaffolds they can use in class tomorrow.
And this is where the rubber really meets the road. For a student, let's call her Clarabelle, this whole system means that every single one of her teachers gets her. They understand her story, they know her strengths, they value her home language, and they have the exact information they need to help her absolutely thrive, both in her classes and as a person.
So, when you pull all of this together, what's the ultimate outcome of this 3-year journey? Well, it boils down to one powerful idea: our shared responsibility.
If you remember one single thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. We are making a fundamental cultural shift. It's the idea that supporting language is not just the job of the EAL specialist down the hall. Nope, it is an essential part of every single teacher's job, in every subject, at every grade level. We are all teachers of language.
So let's fast forward to 2028. What does success look like? It looks like a culture of true collaboration. It looks like a faculty that feels empowered and has the skills to support all learners. And most importantly, it looks like stronger academic results and a real sense of belonging for our multilingual students, all supported by an active partnership with our families.
And that brings everything right back around to the final and maybe the most important question. This transformation isn't just some top-down plan. It is a community-wide commitment. It needs every single one of us to lean in, to learn, and to contribute. So the question we want to leave you with is this: how will you help build our new culture of multilingualism?